What's up, guys? Today we're going to review the Ringside Elite Freestanding Heavy Bag. I bought this bag September of 2021 for 430 bucks. At the time, there were multiple versions available, and I got the bigger, I think the main difference might have been taller version. I'll go stand next to it now. I am basically 6 foot, 5'11", something like that right there. And you can see this guy goes up over my head a little bit. So it's probably like, I don't know, a little bit over 6 foot. Maybe it's 6'5" or something like that. But there are different versions. Just so we clarify, this is the bigger version that I did purchase and I'm talking about. So first thing to touch on is assembly, right? You get it. That's the first thing you got to do. So for assembly, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give this thing a 10. It is super easy to assemble. I might pop the camera off the stand here. I might not. But basically, it's only a couple parts. So, you know, you've got this little pad. But basically, it's a base. And then you go ahead and slide this guy into the base. There are 8 bolts down here. Before you do that, you need to fill that with water. So the most time-consuming part of the assembly is filling it with water. You could do sand. I just opted to do all water. And it holds 280 pounds down there. So assembly, super easy. I definitely would give the assembly, like, yeah, 10 out of 10. You need, like, 1 Allen key, which I think they give you with it. All right, so from here, things are going to take a turn for the worse for Ringside. And the only other review I think I have posted right now is actually the Reflex bag, which I gave a good review to. And I like the Ringside gloves. I like the Ringside shoes. Those will be separate reviews. But unfortunately, man, from here on out, yeah, this one's going to take a bit of a dive. So the first thing we'll talk about is padding. The padding slash the durability of this thing. So the padding is basically broken down where I was hitting it most often. And at this point, there isn't really much padding left there. So what I actually ended up having to do was buy one of these guys from Tidal, strap that thing on where the padding is lacking, and then I actually have some padding again to hit. So the padding, I mean, I'm giving it like a 3 out of 10. And for overall durability of all of it, I'm only giving it a 5. So here's the padding that it comes with. And somewhere in there, it's kind of hard to see, and I actually just made that spot worse. But there's basically like a plastic or hard plastic, possibly metal even, I'm not sure, cylinder that's actually giving it the structure and support it needs. And at this point, I mean, if I didn't have that Tidal pad, you know, my main chin level punches would pretty much be hitting like a plastic or metal cylinder in there, whatever's helping this keep its shape. But it isn't soft. So the padding broke down. I mean, I know it's all gonna, I guess, eventually, but I mean, it hasn't even been a year and we're already, you know, in bad shape. Or sorry, it's been a year. It's been whatever. We'll call it 15 months of use. So where I don't hit it, you know, you can see it's good to go. It's still holding its shape. But really right there at my chin level, the padding's, you know, pretty much gone at that spot. Now, the other reason, just for durability overall, that I'm going to, you know, complain about, I guess, is that this part cracked. Now, this is not, of course, like the only thing keeping it, you know, adding spring to it and all that. You can see the black inside there is the heavy duty part of it. I'm not even 100% sure why they added this gray plastic piece, but that has also cracked and broke. I should also add that I'm really the only one using it, man. There's a couple other people that come by and, you know, like hit bags and box and whatever with me, like randomly, but, you know, those people don't account for that many hits to the bag. So, you know, figure twice a week for 15 months. I am pretty much the only one hitting this thing. I am, what am I? I'm 193 pounds, 6 foot tall, you know, got a little muscle mass, but nothing crazy. Like, I'm not, you know, I'm not Mike Tyson down here. And basically, it's already kind of, I don't want to say broken. I still use it. I can still use it. But if it wasn't for that extra title pad I showed you guys, I'd have to hit it light, you know. There's like, that's anytime I do a head punch now, I'm aiming at that extra title padding that I showed you guys earlier. I'll show you one more time. That adds all this padding on to the spot where the padding's worn down. So padding, 3 out of 10. Durability for the whole thing, 5 out of 10. Still usable, but it's kind of rough, man. I've had to do stuff to continue to make it usable if I don't want to just go up and like lightly tap it. All right, now it will redeem itself a little bit here. This next category I thought of creating was bag movement. And I'll give that, you know, like a 7 or 8 out of 10. And so what I mean by that pretty much is, you know, obviously a normal hanging bag is going to swivel kind of from the top, and the bottom part is going to be what's swinging. And here, that base is 280 pounds. So one thing that helps this thing get a high rating is the bag itself is not moving around the floor. It's 280 pounds. I can hit it as hard as I can. I can even kick it or whatever. And, you know, if I kick it or if I hit it like as hard as I can, maybe it's going to shift like a 1/2 inch or something, or like a 1/4 inch, but it's not going to be falling over on you. There's no way it's falling over on any like reasonably sized or reasonably strong person. It's going to stay upright. That 280 pounds definitely does the trick there. And then obviously back to like the movement piece, the heavy bag's going to move at the bottom because it's connected at the top. This guy moves at the top because it's connected at the bottom. And I do actually like that. You know, I go to a boxing gym that's got the normal heavy bags. And, you know, I like hitting those. I actually would prefer those over this. But I'll get to that kind of towards the end. But I do like having the different type of movement. You know, this, not like you can really slip it or whatever. But you can kind of slip this thing. But, you know, it's slow. It's not like a reflex bag where it's coming back at you quick. But it does just offer like different movement than you would get with a normal hanging bag. And that can't hurt, right? I mean, it's, you know, just getting your body to react to something that's a little bit different. For punching accuracy, you know, that thing's going to be bouncing around a little bit more, probably than like a normal hanging bag. So I do like that. All right, so we covered assembly, we covered durability, covered padding, covered bag movement. Let's talk about the price. $430. Sorry, Ringside, I'm giving the price a 3 out of 10. But this is very contingent on the other things going wrong. I mean, like, if the padding was still holding up better and the base wasn't cracked down there, then for $430, maybe, you know, it wouldn't be so bad. But to pay $430 when you can get like a normal hanging heavy bag that's shouldn't have those padding issues. Obviously, you'll break a heavy bag in, it'll get softer in spots. But the difference there is like the core of a main heavy bag isn't like a hard plastic or metal tube. So when you get through the padding of a normal heavy bag, it's just more padding or sandbags or clothes or whatever you stuff a heavy bag with, but there's no like metal or plastic pole in there. So anyways, so it hurts to drop $430 on this and then like 15 months later have to patch it up to even be able to really use it, you know? So for the price, yeah, I gotta go 3 out of 10, just knowing what the alternatives are with like a normal heavy bag. So I don't know what else I could do there. Again, it's really impacted by the fact that 15 months after I bought it, I'm having issues with durability and padding. Okay, so freestanding bag versus hanging bag. I wanted to get a hanging bag, but I've got this drop ceiling in my basement. I'm below the kitchen, and even when I'm hitting that speed bag, it's like plates and glasses are bouncing in the cabinets. It's annoying to my wife if she's in the kitchen. So I didn't want to do a heavy bag. I would have had to like get a couple sections of this drop ceiling removed, and even then it'd be noisy as hell. And so that's why I went with this. But if I could have done a heavy bag, I would have. And now that I've had these issues with this bag, and I've had you know, a lot of rounds in on a normal heavy bag at the boxing gym, absolutely that like affirms I would prefer to have a normal hanging heavy bag. The pros of this, though, is over a hanging heavy bag would be that, you know, it assembles super quick, obviously. There's no attaching it to any part of your house. You don't have to worry about any sort of hardware. It's going to be quieter for anyone else in your house that doesn't want to just hear bags and chains rattling. So really the pros are that it is quieter, it is easy to assemble, and I guess that's it. You know, it'd kind of be a pain if I were to move it to get the 280 pounds of water out of there, which, by the way, I didn't touch on this during assembly, but it's two halves that make that up. So each one's got 140 pounds of water in it. So when it does come time to empty that thing out, at least, you know, you can do 180 or 140 pounds at a time. I imagine I would just kind of carry or drag it over to like my sump pump pit and let it go. Another thing about it is the wide base makes it kind of hard to do close-up work. You can still get pretty close, but not the same as a normal hanging bag that is not connected to the ground, where you can really get close. Hanging bags cost less, like even like a really nice one, like what is it, like a Nazo or Nazo, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, I don't know, I never heard anyone pronounce it, but I know it's a really nice heavy bag. I mean, you can get a really nice heavy bag for 430 bucks, that's for sure. So yeah, it's, you know, the pros of it, like I mentioned, is the assembly and the noise factor. Other than that, in my opinion, it is not superior to a normal hanging bag. So, with all that said, if I got to give it like an overall rating, I would give it a 5 out of 10. It's got its pros, it's got its cons. Unfortunately, I kind of think there's more cons than pros in this instance. But I will also add, if, you know, again, I'm 193, I've been lifting weights most of my life. So, you know, in the world of boxing, right, I'm kind of a heavier dude. I'm almost a heavyweight. So I think, though, if you're like a lighter person, let's say, you know, whatever, 120 to 150 maybe, it might not be so bad. Maybe the padding is going to hang on a little better. Maybe you're not going to get the crack down in the gray part of the base like I had shown you earlier in the video. So, you know, it may still be right for you as a lighter person, but, you know, if I couldn't really, in good faith, recommend it to someone that's like similar build or strength or whatever to me, because, yeah, you know, I'm barely over a year, couple days a week, one person hitting it. It's not like there's a bunch of people coming through here every day, and already it's kind of busted up. So, you know, those are my final thoughts. I do, since it's kind of like a negative review, I do want to also add or remind people that the Ringside Reflex bag back there, right about there, that's kind of hard to do, I gave a good review on. I did like that. You know, there's really no complaints I have at all about that Ringside Reflex Cobra bag. But when it comes to this freestanding bag, yeah, it's kind of got some of its issues. So that's my 2 cents. If someone's looking to drop 430 bucks on something, hopefully this video helps you out. Yeah, if you're a big dude, I don't know if I would do it. If you're getting it for someone that's lighter, you know, maybe it'll be all right. And again, in the end, I do want to remind people I am still using it. I found a way to continue to use it with that Tidal extra pad. It's not like it's not like I can't use it at all. I just have to, you know, manipulate some things and do some little add-ons to keep it working for me. So anyways, I was looking for videos like this when I was looking to purchase the bag, and there weren't a lot out there. So I wanted to put this out. Hopefully I can, you know, help some people out with their purchase of a heavy bag. And that's about it. If y'all got any questions, drop them in the comments. Thanks for watching.